Welcome back, everyone, at 9:13. March is Women's History Month, so we thought we would welcome back one of the women at CBS 2 who helped pave the way for all female television journalists. Susan Anderson began her career in 1972 as a general assignment reporter right here at CBS 2, and she started at a time when being a woman in this business wasn't always easy. During her tenure, she started the first TV consumer investigative unit in the whole country and also anchored the news. I'm really honored to be sitting with you today, Susan, and talking with you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here. And to be at that age where you're now considered a history maker.
Yes, and we mean this with admiration, of course.
Yeah,
it's a good thing. But, you started at a time when there were very few women in the newsroom. And like I had mentioned, I've heard from Deb Siegel, a former editor here. It wasn't always easy. So tell me about that experience.
Well, when I started, there were no other women reporters in the newsroom. There was a woman writer and a woman secretary to the news director.
Female reporter.
There had been a woman before me, but she had left the station.
Okay.
So I was the only one there with like 150 men.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to work with a girl reporter. They didn't want to go out and do the stories with you. They were afraid that as they said, they might have to open the car door for you, or if there were a riot, they couldn't protect you. So they had all these concerns about working with a woman, and there was some hazing. I remember once when I went to get my mail out of my box, there were a bunch of dead roaches that I pulled out. No, and I never found out who put them there, actually.
Yeah.
And of course, there was the whole thing of workplace harassment, which wasn't illegal at the time.
So there was no HR recourse.
There was no HR recourse. It wasn't against the law. And at that time when I started, there was the feeling in society, men did certain types of things and women did other things. But life quickly began to change back in 1972 when I began. And it was also the glory days of the beginning of news because Watergate happened in 72.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of reporting around it. And then you get to 73 and you have abortion is suddenly legal. You get to the point where women can get contraceptive pills prescriptions without being married.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because one of the questions I was going to ask you is you really, you started Fact Finder, right?
Right, I did.
Fact Finder, which was the first local TV consumer investigative unit in the entire country.
Yes.
And regarding issues like the birth control pill and abortion, you really pushed to cover issues that were otherwise overlooked or sort of considered taboo.
Right. I wanted to cover a lot of issues regarding women. At the time, domestic violence, the police never took that seriously. They would show up at a house and say, hey, you shouldn't be knocking her around. But there was a big push to really get to consider that rape was a real crime, that domestic violence was a real crime, and the first battered women's shelters started opening up. So, yes, you needed women in the newsroom in a way to do those kinds of stories and to push for those kinds of stories. And after I was hired, there were a number of women who came along right after me who were in the newsroom, too. I mean, it was the stations realized they had to hire women. The federal government was on them about it. You can't discriminate against women. And they realized that half the audience, at least, were women, and they needed to start reporting on those stories. So there was huge changes in society, in news, in women's lives, all through the 70s and the 80s.
So I am really sincere when I tell you, I've been in the business now about 33 years, roughly, and I truly appreciate and am very thankful to women like yourself. I mentioned Deb Siegel's name, who was an editor, to all women who kind of had, in many cases, the courage to enter and stay in the TV journalism business. And with that, so all these decades later, what do you think? What goes through your mind when you see women in these prominent positions?
Well, I am thrilled to see so many women in news organizations today. And of course, when I stopped working on news, which was back in the mid-90s, I mean, women had pretty much taken over the business in a lot of ways. And they do run a lot of the businesses these days. And there are more of us than there are of men. But at that time, I mean, it's amazing to see so many women in the business today. And I think it's thrilling.
Yeah, and you helped pave the way. Sincerely, you really did, Susan.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here and talking with
thank
me
you.
today.
And
we really appreciate it. I know some people at the station were thrilled to see you as well.
Well, it was a thrill to be here.
All right, Susan Anderson, again, thanks for all you did for journalists, especially female journalists. We're so glad you're here. And let's toss it over now to Laura Bannon.